been relatively a new topic for the exploring in retailing research, where we are talking about first the recreation and then how the recreation stimulates the entire retailing process and how that is going to induce the consumer behavior to make the entire process of buying more iterative and obviously more dynamic. And this study has been done in Mexico City, and we have taken samples of 369. In fact, it has gone from about 400, but we have eliminated a couple of samples for paucity of the data. Then the entire study was aimed at a couple of objectives, and these objectives were basically to analyze the behavioral drivers that influence the consumer, particularly in leisure shop. And the period that we have chosen for this study is between September to January. January is a leisure period in Mexico where you see the people will have either time or you see they will have either money. So under such circumstances, particularly you see in the month of November and December, it goes to the peak because most of the Mexican employees, they get one salary in addition to whatever they get in normal. So that is one of the computations which we call as, in Mexico they call it as an aguinaldo. Aguinaldo is nothing but an extra salary, a bonus for the Christmas period. And in such circumstances, one of the important issues what we thought is that to measure that how there is a change in the consumer behavior towards buying the product, irrespective of whether they like it or not. That is a kind of a crowd management, where you are creating a crowd by attracting the consumers, by offering them the more leisure facilities in store. So that you see, they come with the family, after that they enjoy food there, they enjoy recreations, and after that they are tempted to buy what it is being displayed. Of whether they like the product, whether they know the brand, or whether they know the brand. So under such circumstances, it becomes something like a psychodynamics. So I had developed two concepts, and both the concepts have been elaboratively addressed in two of my papers. One has been published in Industrial, in the Journal of Business and Industrial Marketing, ABIM, and another one has been published in the Journal of Leisure and Hospitality Marketing. So now these two papers, which contains a new dimension. One of the dimensions in this, what I have developed is that the 2 A's plus 2 C's. In fact, I was looking for a pen to write on the board, but you see, I couldn't communicate to my friend who was sitting there. Probably the language was the problem. But still, in this, one of the important issues is that the 2 A's, the first A is the awareness, then following the C. The C is the comprehension. Awareness is followed by the comprehension, and comprehension is further induced to conviction. So, induced to conviction, and once the conviction persists for a longer time, it goes into action. And in this period, particularly in the leisure shopping period, all these 4 constituents, they act so fast, so dynamic, that everything happens in fractions. Everything happens in fractions. So under such circumstances, the most important issue is that to measure the consumer choice and measure that how the consumers really behave in a leisure shopping environment. So the sampling we have done, probably you see it as in 11 retail sub-surface stores, and then 4 department stores and 2 sub-surface stores. The period was September to December, which was extended up to January because you see, most of the Mexicans, they celebrate a little bit of extension of the Christmas up to the January end because you see, they give a lot of gift to their children, and that is one of the motivations. Where you see a lot of recreations are being organized in most of the in-store. And now we have taken about 64 variables, but ultimately we ended up with only 42 variables because the other variables were not having enough response, so that we had to delete that. And then these are the economic variables and relational variables we took it. And we set the hypothesis, the three major hypotheses, though you see there were more hypotheses which we set. But these three hypotheses which talk about the consumers and their later shopping behavior are influenced by the product attractiveness. Now, one of the important issues is that product attractiveness. What exactly attracts the product? And here there are two important issues. One is that probably most of us are aware of that. One is the GTM strategy, go-to-market strategy. In the sense, nobody declares that you see what kind of products are displayed, but you see you are tempted to visit a store. Once you see you visit the store, then you see you automatically, you try to make up your mind. And in this process, if we analyze the marketing mix, generally you see we talk about only the four constituents of the marketing mix: product, price, place, promotion. But you see, in my concept, which I have been exploring and which I have been explained and expressed in most of my books, is the 11th piece. Now, the P factor is now comprehensively extended. So, apart from the four basic P's, now you see another 5 P's, which I call it as an extended P's. The first is the packaging. The packaging has been separated from promotion because you see, the stores do promote in their own style, but more than that, the issue here is that how a product looks attractive inside the pack and it stimulates the buying process. And this is about the packaging. And then coming to another P is the pace. Pace is the dynamism. Dynamism between the stores, because I do not know in the United States how really stores compete, but you see in Mexico at least they know pretty well that there is a competition among the self-service stores rather than the brands. Because there have been many stores. We were having the French retail chain, we were having the United States retail chains, we are also having the Mexican retail chains. Now, the French retail chains, particularly Auchan, or you take the Carrefour, these were the chains, and they always used to compete with Walmart. The issue is that irrespective of the brand, people are not very much stimulated by a new brand or an unfamiliar brand or a familiar brand, but rather than they are stimulated by Auchan or by the Walmart. What does it offer? So that is one of the critical dimensions. And then you see coming to the another P is the people, the sales people, the customer services associated with the entire concept. And then we come into the another one is the performance. How is the performance associated with that store in serving the customers? So here the service factor overlaps, rather you see, the issues related with the customer choice in reference to branding or in reference to price estimate. And then the last P, which is very, very significant, very important, and which particularly is significant for this study, is the psychodynamics. Psychodynamics is nothing but is a kind of temptation that has been created in the store to attract more and more consumers. So consumers, without really realizing that you see what exactly they want or what are their innate perceptions, they are going to buy a product. Now, if you look at this particular table, and there are about 369 samples, and you see here the product categories like you see apparel, the construction material, the cosmetics, food and beverages, and then general merchandise and the household electronics and toys. And if you look at this, then probably you will find that the food and beverages and toys do have a greater attraction towards the leisure buying in comparison to the other parts. Even you see the apple is relatively high. And the issue here is that the do-it-yourself. So once the do-it-yourself is being introduced by the in-store promotion campaign, then obviously you see that attracts a greater amount of pressure on the buyers to really think of the problem, irrespective of their awareness. Because if you talk about the 2A's plus 2C, the first is awareness, then is the comprehension. The awareness is only about the store, but the comprehension what the buyers are going to get is once they enter the store and they observe and they get a stimuli. And then coming to another slide, I have 3 more slides too. Then you see, in this largely you can see the regression analysis, which probably you see, you may find that ultimately you see the Mexico is having a greater stimulation. The consumers in Mexico have the greater stimulation in buying the food products, food and beverages products, because you see closer to 0.97 that has been put in the regression analysis, and then including the cosmetics and the sales of toys. So these are the 3 major products which are really being stimulated by the in-store mechanism. And then we go to another slide, which is about the correlations. And if you take the correlations, you will find that you see the application of technology. Now, application of technology is largely reflected in do-it-yourself or the go-to-market strategies that have been applied by the stores, which has a very strong relationship with the store loyalty. Which has a very strong relationship with the store loyalty. You can see there, the last column, the V7, where you see the 0.915. And then coming to the another one is about the store loyalty and coming to the availability of a wide range of products. But only issue here is that how much consumers are aware of the brands that are being displayed. Because, like the case of the Walmart, which always says that you see, well, their basic motto is the low price, always low price. If they are always looking for a low price, they try to introduce a new products. Like you see, a couple of years back in Mexico, they introduced the electronics from Mitsui. And Mitsui is not very familiar name. Mitsui was not very well regarded because it was not having a good services in Mexico. But still, since the do-it-yourself and go-to-market strategies were more stronger for this particular brand of product, it made a dent in the entire process of the leisure shopping. And people purchased the DVDs, people purchased the cameras, people purchased the TVs, varieties of things, which was much higher than the established brands like Philips or taking to one of the United States companies, Emerson. And then this is about the final conclusions, which conclusions say that largely the study reveals that the major factors affecting leisure shopping is recreational facilities. So if you have more recreational facilities during the leisure, I'm not talking about the entire season. During the leisure and recreation, in-store has a greater advantage for pushing the products, whether it is branded, whether it is a store brand, or whether it is about the framework for measuring the customer values that has been discussed in this paper, which provides the analytical dimensions to establish the relationship. And probably you see, there have been many papers that have been published by me, particularly in reference to the consumer value, where my major focus in modeling was measuring the intangible asset, or that is a customer value. Well, friends, with this, I end up in a very short session.